everybody. I'm going to apologize in advance because you may or may not be able to hear my daughter in the background. The fun of at-home working. Anyways, I wanted to come on here real quick because there's been a lot of questions regarding if you can send back an assignment after a student has turned it into you and you've approved it. And yes, there is. Thank you to all who have kind of given advice to other people that I've seen in different posts. Thank goodness for this, right? Because sometimes we're doing something quickly, or we go back and we look at an assignment, we want them to elaborate a little bit more. So that's super important that we can still do that even after it's been approved. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys was the private folder feature. Now, I haven't utilized this yet, and I'm thinking in my head, like, why in the world haven't I been? Especially during the distance learning time, because it is a way for you to give private feedback to your student with no one else in the class being able to see the commentary that you're giving to your student. And this is obviously important too if you want to do any assessments on here where you just want to be able to see your students' work and nobody else. If you have an activity where you think there's going to be some worry as to, am I doing this right? And just to have more of like a carefree atmosphere, especially with distance learning, because the students might be worried, if I turn this assignment in and I do it wrong, the other kids are going to see it, they're going to make fun of me on social media, whatever it is. I mean, I've had a lot of social media situations this year especially, and I think we should try to do everything we possibly can to avoid those issues happening, because obviously when the kids are at home right now, they are out of our control. We can only do the best we can to support them, so we're just trying to create a good private environment for them to learn in, so they're not necessarily feeling embarrassed by their skills and their work. So real quick, if you go in and you assign an activity to a student, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to assign this ABC content, whatever. Okay, I'm going to click assign. You're going to click which class you want to assign it to, and this is super important that you edit either who you want it to go to. So if this is a differentiated assignment or whatever it is, you only want certain students chosen, that's where you would see that. And then for folders, you're going to see this option, and it's private, teachers only folder. So I only want her and I to see this, the specific student or all of my students, and not for it to be revealed to the whole entire class journal. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to assign it. Now, I'm going to log back in as my student real quick. Okay. Oh no. And what's going to happen is she's going to see that assignment that I gave her. So she's going to add her response. Whoops, let me go back and show you something real quick. She's going to add her response, and the student, can see that it is set at private. So you can see that only my teacher is going to see this. So, she's going to do whatever she wants, check mark, send it to me. Okay. So now, as a teacher, I'm going to go back in, sign in, and I am going to be able to see that she's, sent me this activity that she's completed. I'm going to review it, and I can now see how she did, and I can, on here, again, see that it's private, teachers only, and I can make a comment to her. Now, because this is private, she is the only one who's going to be able to see this, and I think this is really where distance learning can go from like super basic on just a surface level to, giving students descriptive feedback, pushing them a little bit further if you can, because parents at home, they are doing obviously the best that they can, and we're so appreciative for our parents, but we need to give our students descriptive feedback, and so that they know that we're actually looking at their work and are caring for what they're putting in the effort for at home, but also to just push them to that rigor that you want them to be at, because the parents don't necessarily know the precursors of where, you've been teaching from prior and what your student should be held accountable for. And I think that giving them that descriptive feedback is so, so important, especially if you want to do like assessments on here. You could tell them what grade they've gotten, go back and check this problem, you forgot your units, whatever it is. And you can also record your voice, which is super cute, because then they can hear you and they can feel like, wow, she's actually listening to me, she's looking at my work, and like feel kind of like they're in the classroom. Bummer. So anyways, I'm going to approve the item. And then pretend like after I've gone back through and I see something is wrong in here. Now, it is showing up as I'm in the class journal, but again, private. I'm the only one who can see it. And I'm in my teacher version, so that means I can see everybody's work here. So I'm going to click back in these 3 dots because I realized Palmer forgot something. I'm going to click Edit Item, and I'm able to click Draft, and that will send back to her the fact that I've seen something she needs to change. Again, that feedback is super important in this comment section down here. So now it's going to show up to her as a draft, and she can go back in and change it and make, changes to whatever she needs to based on my feedback. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and hang in there, stay strong, we're in this together.